Coach, thank you for coming on. We are pleased by your presence.
Thanks for having me, and I appreciate it.
I mean, Coach, first and foremost, let's just talk about your excitement of taking over this West Branch regime. I mean, we already know all the headlines about Dru DeShields. We already know what kind of a beast he is, but highlight the team, what you're excited about coming back, but highlight also your own excitement for taking over this West Branch program.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I mean, I think we have a great community, and we have great families out here. And then we're led by a great group of seniors. We have 5 out of 7 guys that were in the rotation offensive line wise back. And then we've got some senior skill guys that we're thinking are going to take that next leap, like Christian Mardick and Mike Kanegi specifically. And then, I think I have a great staff. Being able to keep Coach Harris on board and kind of be a mentor to me was really important. And then we kept majority of our staff intact from last year and kind of added some pieces just in some different guys that I think are meshing well with our kids. So it's been a what's the word I want to use? It's been a process, getting adjusted in this role, but we are in a great situation right now, early August,
When you look at this situation, you take over for Coach Harris, but Coach Harris is still in the building with you, still on staff and everything, still pouring into this program. It's very unique. It's not usually a coach steps away and it's a new coach and it's his kind of philosophy. How has that transition been? How is it like having him in the room still? And how much of the philosophy and the culture of the program was able to stay intact because of that?
I would say majority of it is still intact. I put a couple twists on it just from my perspective, but Coach Harris has been selfless from the start of when he took the job a couple years ago. He's really given me a lot of opportunity to grow as a coach, and he's given me more opportunities every single year, more responsibility. And I kind of want to take that and keep that with my coaching staff. I want guys that want to be head coaches and want to be coordinators, and I want to give that.
Oh, did we lose Coach Harris?
Yeah, and looks like Glitch Gremlins might be attacking Coach Cooper.
For a minute, I thought I was frozen because you weren't saying anything either, and I was like, uh-oh.
I think I was frozen for a second, but then I came back and it looked like Coach Cooper froze up too. We're gonna have to see if we can get him back real quick. But no, yeah, just in the midst, we're gonna be talking a little bit more about this coaching transition from Coach Harris to Coach Cooper. Yeah, but no, it's still exciting to talk about this West Branch program. Hopefully we can get him back on and we'll be able to battle through these glitch gremlins.
Well, what this move was, and then he kind of went into it, was Coach Harris betting on Coach Cooper, saying, I think you are the right fit for this job, and I'm going to put my stock into that bet. And I think that's exactly what it was. And that's why he stayed with the program. He still believes in West Branch football, but we said it before, it was a selfless move by Coach Harris, in our opinion, and he just kind of seconded that idea of pushing it forward and into the limelight, that it was Coach Harris giving him more and more responsibilities and then saying, I am betting on you. How awesome is that to have a boss that says, I am betting on you. I am putting you in the forefront, and I am putting everything that I have built this program in on your hands and trusting you to do it.
I mean, it's trust, but it's also just trying to put the best people in the best position, like we said with West Branch Athletics. That's the name of the game, and that's why, like I've said, they've been able to stay relevant and successful for as long as they have.
Coach Harris out here moving chess pieces while everyone else is playing checkers.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, there's no doubt they look to be an exciting team yet again this season. And I'm excited for every one of the matchups. I mean, obviously conference matchups wise, but I mean, you just look at what West Branch is primed to do. They're looking to make a big run. It looks like
Let's see if we get him back on.
I think we might be able to get him back on. Coach Cooper, we got everything working out now, man?
Yeah, I'm on our guest Wi-Fi in our school, so I just put on my hotspot. Hopefully that fixes it. I apologize.
No,
You're all good. It happens to the best of us, Coach.
we've battled through our fair share of glitch gremlins before. We're just happy to get you back. No, I mean, we were talking a little bit about this schedule. I guess we'll go right into it. Obviously, tough conference always year to year, EBC. What's it going to take for this West Branch Warriors team from what you got coming back this year? What's it going to take for you guys to come out with that conference crown and have another successful season?
I think it's just a week by week thing for us. It's a day by day thing. We really want to strive on getting better each day. And we got to continue to grow. We got a lot of young players that are going to be playing, so they're going to have to grow up early with a really difficult task in Canfield. But then we have Woodridge is a talented team. You know, we were able to go see them and scout them a little bit last week. And then Revere's got a new coach. You know, I'm sure their culture is going to be improved. And Ridgewood is traditionally a powerhouse in Division 5. And then Howland took us to the wire last year. So, you know, our team goals, we want to get better each day and, you know, see where that kind of puts us at the end of the year. You know, we want to win against our rivals and win the EBC, but it's just a day by day thing for us because of our young guys. And, you know, we just we can't overlook a day of practice, can't overlook a day of film. It's just got to be day by day.
You know, you said the young kids are going to have to grow up quick. And we're looking at the youth of this program. We were impressed by it because we were looking at it before you came on. 8th grade was undefeated last year. Freshmen were undefeated last year. JV was undefeated last year. I mean, how ready are these young kids to come in and compete in this varsity program?
They've definitely had a lot of success, but we can't rest on last year's laurels and whatever happened in the past. So, you know, what we've tried to do is we've really tried to make it a competitive summer. And we've got a great group of older guys who are pushing those young guys and holding them accountable. We've got some really talented players that are sophomores and freshmen. But that maturity of playing on a Friday night, we want to make sure that we're taking it the right way. We're letting those guys grow into roles. We don't want to rush anyone into things and situations that they're not ready for. So we're going to rely on those older guys and then bring those younger guys along and really try and compete and continue to improve.
I mean, we're just a few days away, 10, I think, technically from opening kickoff too. And you said it, you got a heck of a task too with a great Canfield team. I think everyone's looking at this quarterback matchup too with Brock Lowry on the other side. Without giving away, obviously, too much of the book from the mastermind himself, Coach Cooper. What's some of the keys to a victory against a very tough Cardinal team that Week 1 game?
You know, I think Canfield. First they have a first-class coaching staff. Their program has been traditionally great. They're kind of the measuring stick in the county. You know what I mean? Mahoning County and Trumbull County and the Tri-County area. So it's going to be a big task for us. We're going to try and do what we do, man. We're going to spread the ball around. We're going to take advantage of what the defense does to us. We got to make sure that we're tackling because, they've got some tremendous athletes and they're up front. They're really strong, but we got to play mistake free to put us in the best situation to win. We're going to count on a great Warrior crowd and, see where we're at.
Ty said it. You had 10 days left, which means you really have a little over a week left in the lab, in the practice, in the scrimmages to kind of evaluate this team and try to put the best foot forward on Week 1. What are some team goals and coaching staff goals that you have for the next week that you want to see this team be at kickoff and next Thursday?
Just day by day. So, today we break our practices up with offensive or defensive meeting, depending on what goes first. Then we have our offensive practice or defensive practice for, not too long. We practice so fast that we don't want to keep our kids here all day. We want them to, still enjoy their summer and whatnot, but about 75-minute practices a piece. And it's just focused on that individual drill, that individual period, whatever it might be, to continue to improve. We've been working hard since June. We had a great off season with lifting and conditioning. We have all of our stuff in offensively and defensively. It's just getting sharper at the little things. You know what I mean? The fine details of understanding the game of football for us, especially offensively, and then rising up and playing football on Friday night.
What do you think is the one fine detail you've seen the most growth in over the summer from this West Branch team?
I think that just like the understanding of our schemes and the understanding of our expectations has been great to see. And I think, our seniors and Dru specifically, I'm just thinking from like an offensive perspective, they've done a great job of getting these young guys ready to go. We're expecting a couple sophomores to contribute early on Friday nights. And, we got a lot, we got to replace Nick Wilson and Jackson Hendershot and all those guys. But I think our receiving core might be deeper this year than it was last year. I think a lot of that credit should go to Dru. So just the timing of what we do and our expectations every time that we step on the field has been great over the course of the summer.
I mean, we've obviously seen Dru play too, and he's a tremendous talent. Obviously, already committed to go to the next level. But from your eyes as a coaching perspective too, what makes Dru such a difference maker for this team and makes him one of the most highly touted quarterbacks in the area?
He just does things you can't coach. No matter what the play is, he's going to make you right as a play caller. He extends plays with his legs. He puts the defense in tough situations by keeping his eyes downfield. He goes through his progressions and he makes his reads properly. He's a great runner and a great athlete, and then he'll go play defense as well. So I think, just as a competitor, he's second to none. I could not speak highly enough of Dru DeShields. I mean, I love the kid and I would do anything for him.
Coach, I'm sure you'd second this. What I notice about him getting to watch the film from our cameras every week in the studio, such a cerebral quarterback. It goes way past the athleticism. He knows what he's doing. He makes the right reads, like you said. I mean, there are a lot of athletic quarterbacks, but he's the football IQ off the charts too.
Without a doubt. And he's studying the game in the off season. And he's always trying to learn more. And I think, that's something he's really made a big step up in our over the course of the off season. We had him call some 7-on-7s. He's just calling it at the line, or he's helping the young guys out and calling them because, that's the type of trust I have in him. He's been in our system for 3 years. He knows what we're looking for and when to do what we do. So I don't want to give too much away.
Right.
We talked about it too, and you mentioned that there's not going to be a culture shift at all with this. It's relatively staying the same. But what is that West Branch identity for those who don't know? And if you're going to come into this warrior program to be a warrior, what do you expect from that program?
We're going to talk specifically. Everything we do is all team based. I don't think Dru DeShields would be where he was if it wasn't for our alignment and if it wasn't for the success of the team. So at the end of the day, everything's going to go through the team, and we can't succeed with just one. So that's number one. Number two, it's a day-by-day process. We want to spread the ball out and have fun and do all that stuff, but it's doing the little things each day to get to the part of Friday night football. So culture-wise, team before me, and we're going to find a way. FAW is our big saying, find a way. We don't want to find excuses. We don't want to do that. We want to find a way to have success. So day by day.
One of the things I want to ask before we let you go, obviously you've been in this program a while, but this is your first year as the guy, the head honcho. Has there been anything yet about head coaching that maybe is different than you expected or caught you for surprise?
Head coaching, you're essentially the figurehead of the program. So the biggest thing with it is there's a lot of things outside of football that you have to do and you have to entertain, and you know what I mean? Because we want to have a great light in our community. We want to be impactful, and so we have to be involved in those different things that isn't just about football. So as the offensive coordinator, I didn't have to deal with that stuff. That was all Coach Harris, kind of behind the scenes stuff. And that was an adjustment for me. But I think, leaning on those guys, leaning on our athletic director, I think that, I think I've taken that role on and I've continued to grow. I'm still learning. There's a lot to learn. I'm not going to be perfect year one. I'm not going to be perfect year two, but how can I continue to grow and put our young men in the best positions possible for our program?
How much does it mean to you that the trust was put into you by not only the coaching staff, but also the community to make that seamless transition?
It means a lot. I mean, I love West Branch. This is where I want to be. I've been here the last 5-6 years, and there's nowhere else I'd rather be. I think we have a tremendous program. I think we have a tremendous community. There's nothing like Friday Night Lights. I mean, out in Beloit, man, we always talk about it as kids, as a team. Our guys are always saying, man, where else would you rather be? Beloit, Ohio. That's where we want to be. So, I'm tremendously grateful for this opportunity, and I just want to make sure that our guys are in the best position and that our program's headed in the right direction, and that we continue to build on the great tradition that we have here. So, as always, go Warriors.
You were a part of that West Branch team too last year as well, Coach. I just need to know before we let you go, West Branch Salem, does that need to start being dubbed the game? Is that the game for the high school scene?
Hey, that was probably one of the best games I've ever been a part of, both sides. You know what I mean? Just what an atmosphere. It gives me chills just thinking about it. I go back and I'll watch the highlights, but I try and move on because I know, that's a motivational factor for those guys. And we haven't done anything yet, but oh man, what a rivalry. What a rivalry between these two programs. I love it. And I think sometimes that gets lost in the mix with high school football nowadays, and people are scared to have that type of rivalry. And it's real, man. It is real. I'll tell you that.
It's definitely real, and we've been able to talk to both sides of it. That's for sure. I do want to give you a chance to highlight your staff and the people that you have working behind you that are making this program so great before we get you out of here.
Yeah, I mean, first I'd like to say, Coach Harris has done a phenomenal job, and he's my number one guy when I go to someone for offense, protection and run game, and not much pass game because he's an O-line guy, but I give him a shout out for what he does. And then Sean Alazos has kind of stepped into a great role for us as a defensive coordinator this year. He's kind of my right-hand guy when I need something on that side of the ball, and I'm going to give him all the trust in that side of the ball. He's going to put us in great situations over there. And then, Carl DeVanzo has been here for the last 10 or so years. He's been a great assistant coach for us. Bob Shepard is an experienced guy. He was the OC here back in early 2000s, and, great football mind for us. Jordan Voitis is a newcomer, Poland guy, but I love his work ethic and what he's doing as a coach for us. And then we were able to add Dale Mitchell as well, an old Louisville guy. And, he saw some reminiscences or some similarities between the programs of Louisville back in the, mid 2000s in our program, and kind of wanted to be a part of it. And then we got a guy from Western Reserve named Chris Thomas, who's volunteering. Those guys are putting in all this time, and, we wouldn't be where we are without those guys. So, I appreciate them, especially taking all the time away from their families. I think that stuff goes understated. But just we're in a good situation over here at West Branch, and hopefully we can keep this thing rolling.
All right, Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us and giving us a preview of what we think is one of the most exciting programs in the area this year. We can't wait to cover them all season, and we look forward to having you again on as the season progresses.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. And as always, go Warriors.